Hello everybody, today we jumped into chapter 6 about EdTech Resources. The first question for this discussion was going through the sources that were provided in the chapter and then finding which one you found to be your favorite. My favorite EdTech resource was BrainPop. I actually used this a lot when I was in school myself, in grade school. It provides resources for the grade levels K through 8th grade. When I looked at it, I specifically looked at the BrainPop Junior, which is for kindergarten through 3rd grade. In the BrainPop Junior, it provided resources with easy and hard quizzes, wordplay that helps strengthen students' recognition of new vocab words through interactive writing, drawing, and speaking prompts that help them show what they know. And they also had movies with pause points to discuss different topics of whatever is going on throughout the movie, which I think is great, getting discussion going through what they're seeing on the TV so they can make that connection. It also provided creative coding, which helps students build computational thinking skills with block-based coding. I think that's also really important. And then it also had an interactive resource, which was write about it, draw about it, talk about it, and then there was a few other things. But it was just ways for them to get thinking about the videos or whatever they were watching on BrainPop. Just more interactive ways to get them thinking, and then that gives them an option too of what they want to do, if they want to write about it, draw about it, or like I said, talk about it. I think I'm very likely to use this in my future classroom. Right now I work in preschool, so I think it's just a little too far above what they would need to be learning, but I eventually would love to move into a kindergarten through 3rd grade teaching position, and I think I'd be really likely to use the BrainPop in the classroom for those age ranges. The next question was your thoughts on open educational resources, or OERs. From what I've read about it, I think the OER is very beneficial to educators and students. OERs increase accessibility for both teachers and students, making content and information more easily accessible. And I think that's always valuable. When things are more easily accessible, people are more likely to use those resources. I think we will see even more positives with this when there is an expansion for the P through 12 classrooms. I think a lot more people will be on board with using this resource. Right now it's only for higher level classes. And then the final question for this discussion was explain one idea to implement immediately. I am really interested in teaching language and literacy and English, and so I think, like I said when I went over all of the BrainPop stuff, that's something I would be willing to implement right away in my classroom. I think the resources it provides is really valuable for students, and it is really interactive, which is what students need, especially at young ages, to keep them engaged and wanting to learn. So I think that is something I would be willing to implement rather quickly in a classroom setting. Like I said, I work with preschool right now, but definitely once I start working in a little bit higher grade level, the K through 3rd grade, definitely would be able to use that in my classroom. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week when we dive into chapter 7.